Hey everyone, and welcome to your Internet Journalism Lesson 4. So this is a new model that is starting, and it will be the research and writing for the web. I'm Senior Line, and I will be taking you through today's lesson. If you do have any questions as we continuously emphasize, please send a message to myself or Mariette about the course, or if there is anything that you are unsure about. So let's start with today's lesson, which will be for today's lesson outcomes. After completing this lesson, you should be able to learn how to develop a content strategy, practice the basic principles of writing for the web, and understand what online journalism is, and know the difference between writing for online and for print. So there is a difference between writing for these two publications, as writing for print is usually long form and writing for online is usually short and straight to the point. But we will go through those shortly. So previous lesson recap. In the previous lesson, we discussed finding leads and sources online. And has anyone used some of the tools we discussed in the previous lesson, and what was your experience? Was it easy? Was it a bit difficult for you to find certain sources online, or was it a bit difficult for you to also look at finding sources or finding leads for stories online? And what were some of those challenges? Think about those, and think about if you've explored any search tools online and what that experience was, and what can we use to collect or verify information that we do find online. Because as mentioned and emphasized in the previous lesson, fake news and fake information or wrongful information is also very much easily accessible online. So make sure that you've read the collateral and that you understand. And if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask us questions on Call Campus, or send us a direct email, or send a direct message on Call Campus as well. So supplementary reading material, writing for the web. These are 5 tips for you to create content for an online audience, because an online audience is completely different from a print audience. Print audiences are used to longer forms, more in-depth information. Not saying that print online is not as in-depth, but just the way and the style of writing online is just quick, quirky, straight to the point, and usually are in short form articles. Those that are in-depth are usually marked as feature articles, who give more information on a specific topic or a specific story, on a specific idea as well. So writing news stories for the web, there's a link there that will take you to a site that will show you how you can write stories for the web. Web journalists, 5 essential qualities to succeed as a writer online. So that will give you the different qualities and characteristics you will need to have as an internet or online journalist. There are 5 basic tips for digital media, as we have emphasized that digital media is a different form or way of storytelling from what it is in print. For instance, you can actually tell a story online using video, using text, using sound, using listicles, using graphs, on one specific space. But in print media, you are paying for that, or you don't have as much space to tell a story or stretch a story out further. Writing for the web, please make sure that you go through the collateral material and make sure that you have a basic understanding of the following elements of content strategy. This is how you strategize your content for online and on web journalism. How online and print journalism differ, as we have mentioned before. The stories and the way you produce or structure your content do differ from print and online journalism. So basic principles of writing for the webs do still apply and stay the same as writing for print, where the basic principles would be applying to your 5 W's and H. Why you're writing the story, who the story is for. So also using those principles on print or on online media still apply. So just for the class discussion, so just think about what some of the characteristics which define online journalism compared to print. So just look at your textbook and look at all the reading and collateral, and the answers would be in there. So just have a basic understanding of these characteristics which define online journalism compared to print or broadcast journalism. So the importance of content strategy, look at that as well. Understand how, what, where, when, and the basic principles. So are you able to break that down? And do you understand that once it is broken down, how does it relate to you as an online journalist? So writing for the web, an introduction. As obvious as it is, the web is different. It is not print. It is not broadcast, and neither is it radio. So when you write content for the web, you do not write it the same way as you write for broadcast or for newspaper. So as I've said before, these are usually shorter, less wordy, and straight to the point. So the fundamental principles, as I've mentioned, still apply no matter the medium you choose, which is the 5 W's and H. Being factual and clear, getting to the point quickly, and web, online, or internet journalism has changed consumption behaviors, which means it changed the distribution behaviors, how people search and interact with kind of stories that we tell online, and the changing cultures of production, which includes most notably blogging. So just to go back to slide 7, where we go into the class discussion, so the characteristics of telling stories online. Okay, the characteristics for telling stories online would be the internet, which is the platform used to tell story, the hyperlinks, the multimedia or the multi-platform stories, and the transmedia, as well as the interactivity. So it's basically the characteristic that differentiate broadcast or online journalism from traditional print journalism. So also looking at those ideas and emphasizing those thoughts around it. So then in our next lesson, we'll start with the introduction to blogging, search engine, and social media optimization. So before we get to that lesson, I just need you guys to possibly look at blog sites and see how different blog sites stand or tell different kind of stories, how these blog sites are set up. Are they telling stories? Are they selling products? Or is it opinion pieces mainly? And how search engine and social media optimization helps online journalists actually tell stories and get their stories out there. Thank you guys for logging in and watching this. So please make sure that you join in the discussion on Call Campus. And if you do have any specific questions, please make sure you ask myself or Mariette any questions, and we will answer as soon as we find them. So please make sure that you do read the readings that are prescribed and also participate and engage, as this is a very practical course.